seemingly overstretched by sprouting tentacles of corruption. Massive similar rip-offs involving billions of taxpayers' money in other sectors remain painstakingly unresolved. Public participation in all our affairs as a nation is a running principle set out in the Constitution. Unfortunately, traditional action by our investigative agencies do not attract public participation. Therefore, the nature of overzealous embezzlement inflicted on the health sector over time, especially the KEMSA heist now, demands that everything be done above board in the glare of the citizens and with robust public participation. Overall, the results of such inquiry must prescribe a definite, precise, and binding action against those found culpable. Only then shall the country come to terms with the goings-on in the Ministry of Health, or what, by Cabinet Secretaries Mutahi Kagwe's own admission, who the untouchable cartels in there are. For this reason, the only appropriate mechanism via which to get to the bottom of what is ailing the health sector is for the President to appoint a judicial commission of inquiry. I am by no way infatuated with proposing judicial commissions of inquiry whenever things get skewed. But here, things have indeed gone awry, and only such inquiry will soften the hearts of our development partners who threaten to abandon us at our hour of most need because of our insatiable dishonesty. If donors pull out, not only do we lose COVID-19 support, but we will also forgo over 400 billion for HIV and AIDS, malaria and TB, among other life-saving interventions beneficial to the people. So let me emphasize this. Why, therefore, do I propose a judicial commission of inquiry? And this is a very critical component of my statement. Why a judicial commission of inquiry? First, commissioners of a judicial commission of inquiry enjoy immunity. Unlike our CID or DCI, police, or EACC, who are vulnerable to influence, threats, and blackmail by the infamous powerful cartels. So point number one, the Judicial Commission of Inquiry under the Constitution. Third, and this is again very, very important, decisions made by the Commission are binding in law. So they are not ordinary statements. They are binding in law. And just as those of a court are enforceable on their own without need for further machinations, so the end game is neat and clear for the public. Fourth, since only the President, nobody else, only the President has power under the Commission of Inquiry Act to form such a commission, this will help the President to stamp executive authority on the fight against corruption or graft with finality, and underline this, and then deflate the lingering insinuations that he is a reluctant fighter of corruption. COVID-19 pandemic has been with us for 5 months and still counting. This pandemic has ravaged and devastated our lives, torn our families apart, and pounded our economy with unrelenting cruelty. Kenyans are dying, others holding to dear lives in ICUs, HDUs, self-isolation facilities, and in their homes. Our medical personnel, true heroes and frontline soldiers, have not been spared. The disease is amok in communities, but we are unable to expansively test and contact trace. Health facilities will soon be overrun. In some, we are on our knees, terrified by the horror inflicted on us by this invisible enemy. My appeal now is directly to the situation, Mr. President, is dire. In the midst of this terror, some have found in our tribulations a source of profiteering through theft, fraudulent procurement schemes, and grossly inflated prices. They need to be stopped. Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya on leadership and integrity. Chapter 12 on principles and guidelines of public finance. The Public Procurement and Disposal Act and the Public Finance Management Act have failed to tame and stop them. The public is restless and now requires answers. Mr. President, a Judicial Commission of Inquiry will unearth the real underlying problems of this malaise. Meanwhile, I urge Kenyans to give up, not to give up, the fight against COVID-19. Continue observing guidelines as issued from time to time. Coronavirus is real. It is here with us. But all will be well if we protect ourselves. God bless Kenya. God bless our people. End of statement. Thank you.
Okay. No questions? No questions are there. What now? You're proposing a judicial process and all this. But now what happens between the relationship between the president and the judiciary, because it has not been very well. It has also been noted. And also there are those who are even coming out like your partner in the NASA coalition who says that there is no problem, they see no problem in what has been going on. What would you say about that?
I don't think the appointment of a Judicial Commission of Inquiry has anything to do with any standoff that may exist around the judiciary, because there are several judges, and a Judicial Commission of Inquiry, which falls within the domain of the President, can be put together, and he can appoint, whether it is a 3-man bench or whether it is a 2-judge bench, it's up to him. And he can do that right now if he wishes to invoke his powers.
What about the sentiments by ODM? ODM seems to be actually supporting what is happening.
I think I am very clear that Kenyans are restless. Kenyans want answers. It is not time to gloss over anything. Resources have been lost. And if they have not been lost, why would anyone be scared of a Judicial Commission of Inquiry? If you believe that you have done nothing wrong, then come forward and be prepared to face a commission of inquiry in the eyes of the public. You will have the right at that point to defend yourself if you think an allegation is not correct. Let me tell you, I saw a few things about saying we wait for the audit of the Auditor General. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, the office of the Auditor General is an independent institution. It cannot work under the direction of anybody other than what is provided for in the Constitution. To the best of my knowledge, there's a backlog, because when the outgoing Auditor General left, it took quite some time. And indeed, there was even a backlog for him. It took quite some time for them to appoint another. And by the time this one gets to moving, they will start with where the backlog is. So that was a very cheeky way of saying that let the Auditor General do the audit first. But if they have a backlog of 2016 or 2017, 2018, that is where they will start. So by the time they come to audit these funds, if they're following the procedure, and that is what they would do, then you would be getting the report of the 2020 maybe 5 years down the line. So that was a very mischievous proposition.
So it was a scapegoat.
Very mischievous proposition. Times have changed, and I believe that this constitution provides bigger anchor on matters of public participation. And this would give even you, as members of the media, an opportunity to follow the proceedings and what is going on. And it will also give courage to those who may have information but do not know how to bring it forward. Through a commission of inquiry, we will get to understand why is there always a problem in the health sector. Don't start on the negative. Start on the positive. Isn't this an opportunity for Kenyans to come to the bottom of this? You see, if we always pick up on that, it's like me saying, or like you saying, after all, media always expose things but nothing happens. I don't think that's a positive way to go if you want to start resolving issues. Times have changed. I was looking at numbers, the Kenyans born after Sabasaba are 34 million in this country. That is, out of a population of 48 million, these people are 72%. They want answers. Any other? Asante. Kwa kifupi, nimesimama hapa kujiunga na Wakenya wengine ambao wameshtumu wizi wa pesa za umma katika Wizara ya Afya, na haswa katika ile parastatal ambayo inahusika na hali ya kununua dawa kwa niaba ya Wakenya, yani KEMSA. Wakenya wamekerwa sana, watu wamekufa, wanazidi kukufa. COVID imegonga maisha yetu kwa njia ya ajabu, na kile ambacho mimi napendekeza leo ni kwamba kupitia kwa uwezo wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta, ana uwezo kupitia kwa ile sheria ya Commission of Inquiry Act, ana uwezo wa kipekee, uwezo ambao hakuna mtu yeyote mwingine ambao nao, aunde tume ya kisheria ya Judicial ambayo itachunguza wale ambao wamehusika na ufisadi katika Wizara ya Afya, na watoe mapendekezo bila wasiwasi, bila kutishwa, ili tujue ni kina nani wamehadaa wa Kenya. Na kama mtu hana hatia, asiwe na wasiwasi kufika mbele ya tume kama hiyo. Lakini kama yeye ana hatia, basi atapatikana, ili tuondoe hali ya kutupa tu majina ya watu. Kwa sababu kwa wakati huu mara unasikia kampuni ile, jina la yule, nani yule. Sasa hujui gani ni ukweli, gani ni propaganda, na gani ni siasa ya kuchafulia wengine majina. Ikiwa tunataka tuepukane na hii tabia ya kuchafua majina ya watu na kutupa maneno kiholela holela, nafasi hii Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, kwa sababu kwa ile ajenda yake 4, ajenda moja kubwa ni mambo ya afya kwa Wakenya wote. Kwa hivyo mimi ningehimiza kwamba ana nafasi nzuri ambaye anaweza unda tume hiyo, atafute kwa mahakama. Kuna majaji, yeye ndio atateua wale ambao wanaweza simamia upelelezi kama huu, ili tulete kikomo kwa wizi katika Wizara ya Health. Na ninasema hivyo nikijua kwamba kuna DCI, kuna EACC, lakini ukiunda tume, hawa wana immunity kwa kisheria. Lakini tukiwachilia tu wale wengine, pia tunajua wana shida. Tume ya kupigana na ufisadi, DCI, wana kesi chungu nzima. Kuna zile makesi walianzisha kama za Aror Dam, Kimwarer, na kesi zingine nyingi. Wana jukumu kubwa sana, kazi ni nyingi. Kwa hivyo itabidi pia rais atafute mbinu zingine, na akisema hakitaka na atoe uamuzi kama huu, anaweza pea hiyo Commission of Inquiry miezi 6 kumaliza kila kitu. Na wampatie report na yeye mwenyewe sasa atajua vile ataendelea na hiyo report. Lakini tukisema tu tutegemee upelelezi wa kawaida, ndugu na dada, wengine mtangoja miaka 5, miaka 6. Wengine hatujui ya Mungu ni nini. Wengine labda hamtakuwa hai wakati hiyo ripoti inatoka, tukifuata ule mtindo wa kawaida. Na tusipopigana na ufisadi ili watu waone kwamba it is now an expensive affair kucheza na ufisadi, tutazidi kuona watu, badala ya watu kuogopa, ndio wanapata mori zaidi ya kuendelea na ufisadi. Kwa sababu wanaona mimi naweza chezea wa Kenya, sitashikwa, sitaulizwa. Baada ya miaka 7 hiyo mambo inapotea na mwingine anaendelea. There must be a cut-off point kama wa Kenya. Na mimi ombi langu ni kwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya kwamba hii ni nafasi yake, na hakuna mwingine ambaye ana uwezo kwa kisheria, kwa katiba, bali ni yeye ndio anaweza unda tume kama hiyo. Asanteni sana.